What's up guys, Voan here today, and today is a very special day because now I finally got a chance to review this thing. This right here is the AtGames Sega Genesis Flashback. It's flashing back to a bygone era, like they all say in these kind of clone things. Anyways, here's what the box looks like. It claims that it's in HD. You got Sonic the Hedgehog, 85 built-in games. Look at that. And here are some of the games that you will get with this systems. And you get a lot of these features here. 2.4 gigahertz wireless controllers, 720p HD outputs. You also got save, resumes, and rewind features. Yeah, that rewind feature, that's what the Super NES Classic Edition has copy from. And you also got a cartridge slot for all your classic cartridge games. Let's look at that. Classic cartridge games. You got your NBA Jam Tournament Edition, you got your Peter Solar, your Batman, your Animaniacs, your Pitfall, your Samurai Showdown, and your Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Of course, this game is already in here, but it would be nice to try the cartridge version, right? Also from the side, you can see here, it has all of these nice little printing, and from the other side you also have these little printing here. Game Genesis Flashback game console, 85 billion games. It's pretty much the same stuff. You also got nice instruction manuals to tell you how to hook it up to. And on the very back of the box you get that very nice attractive art covers of all the games that will be in there. This time they did not advertise the knockoff games, but you can tell there's a lot of good games in here. Some are Genesis, some are Game Gears, some are Master System. Pretty much all of these are Genesis, but there are a few Game Gears in here too. So yeah. And here's the other side of the box. You can tell it has that same usual sentence that tells you that some cartridge may not work because this thing doesn't want it to work. That's pretty much all I had to say, because trust me, there are some games that will not work on this system, despite it using a much better emulator this time around. Anyways, let's open the box and see what it looks like. There you go. And here you got the console. This is the AtGames Genesis Flashback here. So as you can tell, it replicates a very nice little replica here. It kind of uses the design of the Model 1 Genesis here. So like the Genesis Model 1, you got your usual cartridge slot here, so you can actually put cartridge in there. You got your on and off switch, your reset buttons, and you also got two controller ports so that you can plug in actual controller to play with this thing. On the back you have an AV out, not AC adapters. Not AV out, AC adapters, yeah. And your HDMI. You really don't need any other thing. It doesn't have composite or anything, so this is pretty much all you get. And it's pretty good too. Nice little design here. Other things you get inside the box is this nice little poster here, which is pretty much is also your instruction manual as well. And you get this little how to play cartridge game list stuff here. So yeah, you got a lot of instruction to tell you how to do things with this thing. So not bad for the system here. You also get HDMI cable like every other console that claims to be HD, and your AC adapters, and then you also get 2 wireless controllers. So there are 2 in here this time, and I have to say this controller works a hell lot better than the one that came with the classic game consoles. So let's put the box on the side here and let's take a look at this one. So as you can tell, this thing is the successor to this little guy. So this one came with the crappy wireless controllers from last time that use infrared. This one, however, uses the 2.4 gigahertz wireless controllers. So it's actually much better now. You can see them side by side. You can tell this one is much smaller, this one is much bigger. And here's a comparison between that one and the Model 2 here. So as you can tell, the Model 2 is a lot bigger. It can squash this thing if it want. And yeah, like this one, the Model 2 has the usual power and reset buttons. Doesn't really have anything else. It's only AV, so, and it can also output an RGB as well if you know how to do that. And here is the Mighty Original. Compare it to the Mighty Original. You can tell it has the slogan, high definition graphics, HD graphics, Sega Genesis 16-bit, way bigger than this one. I mean, to this one, this little guy is only like puny, whereas this guy can crush him anytime he wants. And it has a lot more feature than that one too. As you can tell, it has a volume slider, headphone jacks, the same usual switch here, and reset button, controller ports, AV, composite, RGBs, all those shits. So yeah, this thing actually works pretty good. And it also has that plug-in where you can attach it to the Sega CD as well, which this little guy does not do because it's not made by Sega. So yeah, that's the comparison unboxing of this AtGames Sega Genesis here. So in a while we're gonna test this one out, and we're going to see if it can handle all the compatibility of these shit over here. So if you can tell, we have a lot of games down there. We got your usual Rocket Knight, Fantasy Stars, Ultimate Mortal Kombat, some Sega Master System games. Behind those is that power-based minis and a lot of other things. And I can tell you, not every one of these games will work on that thing. But let's find out, because I haven't tested all of them yet, just some of them. And I also test some of the built-in games too. So I have to say, there are some good and some bad things about the systems that will affect the final grade. So yep, let's get on to it. Alright, so we got the AtGames Sega Genesis all hooked up now. So let's turn on and try some games. So here it is. Here is the AtGames Sega Genesis menu here. So you can tell, here's some nice amount of games. These are the recent games that I played before. So you got your You got your Dragon Crystal, Eternal Champions, Golden Axe, all of that. So to navigate the menus, we have to use these two buttons. So B will go up, and then C will go down. So that's pretty much how you navigate that menu there. Pressing the directional will change how the cursor goes on the other side of the menus, so that's quite okay. So let's check out some of the games here. So we got some Alex Kidd, another Alex Kidd for the Masters, all the Alex Kidd game on the Master Systems. We got some Alien Storms, Ultra Beast, Arrow Flash, Assault City, Astro Warriors, all of that. So yeah, let's play some Comic Zones and see how that fares here. So we're gonna play some built-in games first, and then eventually later on we're gonna try the cartridge ones later. So let's see how the built-in games work. So here's how the sound like. And it sounds pretty good. Alright, so we can go here. I have to say, the gameplay works okay. Yeah, unlike the classic game console, however, yeah, AtGame did fix the audio in this. The control works very well. As you can tell, I don't have to point it at the system this time. So yeah, it works pretty great. Let's go choose another game. So if I press the menu button, it'll take us to this menu here. So on this menu, if you can see, we have options for save game slots, low game slots, more games save slots, and if we press down, that means we can quit the games, or we can press the menu buttons again to return to the game, or to or the start button to return to the game. So if we press up, we can turn scan lines on. Fortunately, I don't really care for scan lines, but yeah, if we press down, we went back to the menu. So that's actually pretty good. Here's some Golden Axe we can try. Let me just rotate the camera a little bit up there. There he goes. So that's how Golden Axe looks like on the AtGames Sega Genesis here. Alright, let's choose a characters. And the music sounds great. It sounds just like the original. Unfortunately, I used the special way too soon there. Sound effects sounds just fine. Yeah, and I do like the sound when they die. It sounds just like how they were if you're playing the cartridge version of this on the original. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Scan line. Anyways, let's try Mortal Kombat. Now that's the thing. I was gonna choose Mortal Kombat, but I hit the wrong button, so I had to press start on that. That's the thing. I don't like like a lot of people said, I don't like how these menus are handled here. Gotta turn those scan line off. Alright, so I'll be choosing Scorpion this time. So let's see how Scorpion fares. So we're fighting Sonya. And it works okay. There's really no problem with the controls. All of the moves came out just fine. It sounds properly just like how you would if you're playing on the original. Alright. Also, you can tell this controller has a rewind buttons, a menu buttons, and a start button. There's no mode button here. You still got the player 1, player 2 option up here too, and the 6 buttons. So yeah, it's a really nice little controller. Definitely feel much better than the one that came with the classic game console. There's no latency issue at all with the controllers. So that was Mortal Kombat. Alright, so let's go pick another game. Let's go back to the Sega list here. Let's go pick a different game. Some of the Game Gear games maybe. See how they work. See, so let's try Sonic Chaos and see how Sonic Chaos works. So as you can tell, you got this nice little border of a Game Gear thing here. Now this is the kind of border that I like. You guys, the thing matches how the system is. So alright, so let's play some Sonic Chaos. I do have to say the control works quite okay. Although on this Game Gear here, this Game Gear titles, the frame rate is like kind of dipping a little bit here. It kind of has that little bit of choppiness to it. A little bit slow too, but I think that's probably just the game and not the emulator, perhaps. Because the actual game is a little bit slow like this too. So we got through that first level. You can tell there's like these tiny glitchy flash a while ago. It doesn't happen for the game, but it does appear quite often on these Game Gear games. I do not like the music at all in this game. Those are some hidden spring down there. Is there one more here too? Nah, I don't think so. That's so weird. They put like a bunch of lines of rings and there's nothing to push you up to get those rings. Maybe you had to fall down up there, I guess. So yeah, that was Sonic Chaos on the Game Gear. Let's see, let's try some Master System games. Maybe those are better. So Master System, we can try... Let's try some Alex Kidd. Maybe those will be good. So yeah, Alex Kidd right here. Alex Kidd Miracle World. Let's try that. As you can tell, the Master System also has border as well, but it's much more boring than the one on the Game Gear games. Because at least the Game Gear ones, they show you the thing on the border, whereas this one they don't. It's just all black. But I do have to say it works quite well. It looks good too. And I personally never played Alex Kidd's game before. I played the one on the Genesis, but not this Master System one. To tell you the truth, I have not played that many Master System games in my life. Only quite a few, and Alex Kidd isn't one of them. But it does play pretty good, pretty well. There doesn't seem to be any latency issue or any lag or anything. Yeah, it's just a weird game. That's just me right there. Alright. So... But there are still issues with some of the sound too. And I can prove that with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 here. So as you can tell, everything sounds true to form here. Okay, let's start the game. As you can tell, the game runs really choppy now. That's the one thing we notice. Usually Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is not the one that got hampered by this slowdown. And that slowdown also hampers the control a little bit too, because now the buttons and directional doesn't go as accurate as we want it to. Yeah, that doesn't sound that good. The sound is kind of lagging, and that is the wrong goal sound. It's usually doing the. It's usually sound a lot more like a ding or something instead of doing a brr. So that doesn't sound that well. It doesn't sound as accurate as what you would play on an actual Genesis. But other than that, everything else sounds alright, and the game does still plays okay. It's just not as smooth. As you can tell, it's like jumping frames all over the place. Or it's skipping frames all over the place. Alright. So yeah, that is some of the games that are built into here. Of course, AtGames also include their own games. These are the knockoff games that they kept giving us throughout all of these plug and play that they release. So yeah, these are not that good. You still have your usual, all your usual stuff like checkers and bombers, and I think Mr. Ball is in here somewhere too. Yeah, right here. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the some of the built-in games here. So now it's time for us to do some compatibility tests here. So alright guys, so in this compatibility test, we'll be testing a lot of these cartridge Genesis games on this AtGames Sega Genesis. But before we do that, let's take a look at how the controller ports work on this. So right here, now the plug and play stuff that I have just tried, if this is just a plug and play, and if we only like review just the plug and play and nothing else, ignoring the cartridge slot and the controller ports, this will be definitely AtGames' best plug and play ever. I mean, the gameplay is still not smooth compared to the classic game console, but the sounds good. It's still playable, and there are more games. So on the plug and play part, I would grade it at least a B- for that, because it definitely improves on a lot of things. It gives you all of those great save stuffs and rewind features, the ability to use scan lines, all that. So on the plug and play section, that's good. Plus the controllers are wireless, so these controllers are very good. You don't have to point at the controllers all the time anymore too. So for plug and play, it's a B-. But since it does include 2 controller ports and a cartridge slot, we too had to grade them as well. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you, the grade does not look good. So yeah, let's try out the compatibility test and see how it is. So let's start with the original controller first, then we can test the game after that. And we'll test these controllers with one of the built-in games and see how it fares. So this time we're using wire controllers. So we're using these. And these are actual Genesis controller too, they're not knockoffs, so they should work. And I'm plugging both of them in there just to test and see how it goes. So right now we are at the menu screen and I'm pressing the D-pad. So you can tell it doesn't move. This is controller number 1 though. And you can tell none of the button works. Let's see how controller number 2 handles though. This is controller number 2. And as you can see, controller number 2 does work. And let's go to Mortal Kombat and press start. Again, this is just for testing, so so I'm playing controller number 2 right now. I just hope that maybe controller number 1 magically work. So let's press start on here. Fortunately, player 1 has to press start. As you can tell, player 1 can't press start no matter what. So I have to plug controller 2 into controller 1 now to make it work. Alright, so right now this is controller number 2. I plug this into controller port number 1 now, so this time it works. So let's press start. As you can tell, controller number 2 is still, for some reason controller number 2 just popped out of nowhere. For some reason it works right now too. That's really strange. Let's see, how did the scan line get on? That was weird. Alright, I'll choose Scorpion and we'll fight Sub-Zero here. Okay, so I am controller number 1 now. And this is using the controller that works. I did not turn the blood code on this time, but as you can tell, right now it works. So if you press the mode button, that's the menu button. The reason, the thing is that AtGames completely take out the mode button now. So if you press mode, you will always access the menu. So if you play games that require the mode button, mode will never work. Because for this system, the mode is now the menu buttons. So no matter what you do, you can't use mode. Alright, and right now this other controller works. A while ago it did not work, and I don't get why, but it seems to work just fine now. So let's get out of here with this controller and let's pick another game. Eternal Champion this time. See how Eternal Champion turned out. Alright, that character is doing something that we want to play, so alright, so we're going to go 2 players and we're going to go to fight again, and let's choose some random characters. Shadow versus Blade. Alright, so player 1 is Shadow, player 2 is Blade. So we're gonna try something here. So you can tell everything works just fine. Yep. So I'm gonna do one of her moves. That works. Let's try the other guy. So this is controller number 2. Look at that. It's not working anymore. It works a while ago with Mortal Kombat. Right now, it's like the controller just frozen. That's just weird. Because a while ago it did work. So right now the game ends. Let's see what round 2 has to do. Look at that. This is the same controller I was using. Come on, work. Let's see. Maybe if we finish this guy, let's see if it will work after. Alright, so I beat the guy. At the character select screen, we'll check to see if it works. So I press start, nothing works. That is weird. Let's press start again. I know that it works a while ago because a while ago we were able to pick blade. I don't get why this time I don't get why this time we were not able to. That is the weirdest thing about this system. A while ago it works because we were able to pick blade here. And right now we were not. We can't, no matter what, we can't pick blade anymore. Look at that. It won't work. That's the thing about this AtGames system. You never know when it'll work and when it won't. You can just press it. If we restart the game again, it might work, but that does not work very well. So I have to say, in terms of these controllers on the AtGames Flashback, they don't always work, and that's why I'm dropping grades on this one. It's nice that they let you play with these, but it's kind of sad because why let you play when they don't work? In fact, this controller works just fine if you're playing on an actual Genesis. Same thing for this one, but right now they seem to don't work on the plug and play that well. Sometimes they'll work, and sometimes they're just to be buggy all over the place. So we're not using wire controllers anymore after this. We'll just use the wireless ones. So that's one of the problems with the AtGames Sega Genesis here, because regular controllers don't always work. Alright, so now we're gonna try something very special. We're gonna test these cartridge games. As you can tell, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is the only Sonic games that was not built into the AtGames Sega Genesis. And because it was not built in there might be a reason for that. And the reason is AtGames probably do not like Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for some reason. That's pretty much just my theory. I think that this is a pretty good games. I mean, you really need this along with Knuckles to play the full games. So we'll test the lock-on after this, but here is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I'm going to plug this into the AtGames and see if the AtGames will recognize it. So let's plug it into the AtGames system. So zoom into that TV and turn the power on. We're gonna use one of these controllers. And let's see if AtGames will actually recognize these cartridges. Because I have tested a lot of times and for some reason it won't recognize it. So here we are at the menu, and you can tell for some reason it is not recognized. Look at that. It doesn't even load the dump bar that it's supposed to. So maybe that's the reason why they did not build Sonic 3 in here, because it probably did not work. That's pretty sad, because for some reason it does work. And I'll show you how it works. So we take Sonic and Knuckles, we open that up, and we put Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on top of Sonic and Knuckles. Now normally if you do this and play it on the original hardware or on the clone, you will get Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the entire full games of this, the entire full games here. So, but if you plug this on the AtGames Sega Genesis, you have two choices. You can either play Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic 3. You can't play the full games, but you have the option of playing this one or that one. It's sad because this is the only way for you to be able to play Sonic 3. Just Sonic 3, not Sonic 3 and Knuckles, just Sonic 3. If you just want to play Sonic 3, this is the only way you can do it, and I'll show you why. Let's plug it into the AtGames again. And then we're zooming in and turn it back on. And let's see if it'll recognize it this time. So let's see, here's AtGames screen here. We're back at the menu and yep, it's actually dumping the ROMs now. And as you can see right here, right there, you can tell one says Sonic and Knuckles and the other says Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Fortunately, the printing on these are kind of lame and they're kind of slow too. So yeah, if you choose Sonic the Hedgehog 3 here, you can finally play the original Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And yeah, just the original Sonic the Hedgehog 3 though, you cannot play. Yeah, you cannot play Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. So look at that. So this is the only way you can play Sonic 3 if you have Sonic and Knuckles on this AtGames. So there's no way you can play the full games. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and in theory, right now it does work. Of course, like I said, it's kind of like pointless because you need Sonic and Knuckles to make it work. It will not work unless you have Sonic and Knuckles, and that's another ripoff of itself because originally with Sonic and Knuckles you should get the full game. And with the AtGames, you're not getting a full games. You're getting half the games, half and half. So, yeah, let's go here. And if you want to play Sonic and Knuckles, you can play Sonic and Knuckles. So you won't get Sonic 3 and Knuckles at all. So the way I see it, this combo right here on the AtGames Genesis Flashback is a no-no. If you play it like this, you can play that or that. You can't play the full game when these two are merged together. So that's pretty sad on the AtGame part. At least on the classic game console, at least on the classic game console that I reviewed last time, Sonic Knuckles in Sonic 2 does work. However, on this flashback, for some reason, it does not work. And let's see the result of that. So let's turn it back on. And let's see if it'll dump it. You'll be surprised if it does work. So right now it's dumping the cartridge again. So yeah, like Sonic the Hedgehog 3, if you're plugging it in here, you get two dump games. You either get Sonic and Knuckles, like before, or you get regular Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So yeah, it's just regular Sonic 2. You're not getting Knuckle this time, so that is indeed a thumbs down, a double thumbs down this time, because you have to remember this works on the classic game console. You were able to play Knuckles in Sonic 2 if you tried this. For some reason, with the lock-on, it does not apply to the AtGames. So the lock-on for the AtGames is a no-no. You will not get to play all those bonus lock-on games. Now let's try the 6-pack. This is the Genesis 6-pack. Let's see if it works. Let's plug it in and turn the power on. Alright, so let's see if it works on AtGames. And it will dump the ROMs. That's very good. That's a good sign that it'll work. Yeah, and as you can tell, it has like 3 different games here. That's because there's a lot of games in there. Sonic the Hedgehog and Revenge of Shinobi does not work. If you enter it, you get this black screen. So that's a no-no right there. If you go to Sonic, it's the same thing. However, if you go to the first thing here, it does work. I mean the splash screen for the 6-pack, that is. And you still go to the menu. So as you can see here, you get all 6 games. However, like before, Sonic in here does not work. Just look at that. It absolutely does not work. It shows you the same black screen. But the menu still works, so let's get out and let's re-enter again. And let's try those other 5 games and see which one does work. So Sonic does not work. Let's see, maybe Columns? Let's try it. Maybe Columns work. Yeah, look at that. Column works. And that is strange because Sonic does not work. But Columns is one of the packing games, so that might be why it works. But also Sonic as well. I don't get why Sonic does not work here. So that's good. Alright, so we know Collins work. Let's enter again and pick a different game this time. Alright, so we know that Sonic does not work and Colin works. Let's try Streets of Rage. Maybe Streets of Rage will work. Then again, AtGames don't like Streets of Rage. That's why Streets of Rage was not even included in the plug and play. It's another downer right there. I don't get why they hate Streets of Rage now. Alright, so let's go back in and let's try the other few games we have left. Alright, so now let's go to Golden Axe. And Golden Axe works. Let's see, how's the game? Maybe the game will work too. Alright, the game works okay. It loads just like it used to. I always tend to waste that thing. So I don't get it. Why didn't Sonic and the other 2 game works like this? Maybe AtGames just don't like all of them. Golden Axe works just fine. So let's try the other two games. So now we have Shinobi. Maybe the menu one might work? Let's try it. Nah. We got a black screen just like before. It does not work. Kinda wish that it would work, but for some reason AtGames knows how to AtGames knows which one to work and which one doesn't for some reason. Okay, let's go to Super Hang-On, the last game on this pack. And like yeah, like Columns and Golden Axe, it works. Alright. And let's play ourselves some Super Hang-On. Of course it's very glitchy though. You can see that glitchy line there. Kinda like annoying. And then we have that flying glitch on top. Huh. Maybe if we play it longer it'll disappear just like that top one. Ah, it came back. it came back. Maybe it's a floating balloon or something. I don't have a copy of this game, so and I don't have the original copy of the game, so I don't know if that's a balloon or not, but yeah. But I did play this on the original and there is no such thing as a flying balloon like that. So I don't know what that flying thing is. The glitch that's right on this side is really bothersome to me, so I'm not gonna be able to play this game in full. So yeah, that was the 6-pack. That is this game right here. 3 of them works okay, 3 of them don't. And one of them that works okay is very glitchy, so it's still a downer. Next up, we have NBA Jam Tournament Edition. The original NBA Jam does work. However, I don't have that game. I only have the Tournament Edition, which is my all-time favorite in all of these systems. So let's see if it works. Now, this one does not work on the classic game console. So if it works on this one, it'll be great. Hopefully. So let's try it. So let's turn it on and let's see if AtGames can surprise us with this one. So yeah, I just don't like how you have to turn it off and on every time when you wanna dump the game. It does not work the same way as the Retron 5 where you can just plug it in and then it'll just dump it in. So it does dump the game. For some reason it kind of froze there for a while bit. I don't get why it's frozen. Why are you freezing? Come on, finish that loading. So you can tell that bar is not going, it's not doing its job. It's just froze at 99%. I mean, it's almost like it's a PC or something where you're trying to like update something and then at the last minute it just stopped for some reason. I mean, come on, AtGames, why are you freezing like that? Let's try it again. Maybe it's dirty inside or something. Let's try it. Retry it and give it a second chance. I like to give second chance to all of my games, so. Which is why I have that 3-strike rule. So this is AtGames Genesis again. Hopefully the dump does not fail this time. So it's dumping again. Success! It finally dumped the game. Not only that, it recognizes the game too. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Let's see if it'll work. Press start. Come on, I want to play some NBA Jam Tournament Edition. And it won't let me. This is the same screen that was on the AtGames Classic Game Console. Every time I try to play this game on the Classic Game Console, it will give me these jail bar screen here. It's almost like you're in jail or something. For some reason it won't let me play, so let's give it one last try. I mean, the menu button still works, so let's get out and return back. Nah, it doesn't do jack. So yeah, let's turn it off. Wiggle it a little bit, maybe it's dirty, and give it the third try. Alright, AtGames. And there it is. It's loading again. And it does recognize the game. Oh my gosh. And it has the same exact problem. That's not good. So yeah, NBA Jam Tournament Edition does not work. For some reason it fell on both of them. This one and the Classic Game Console. So I'm guessing this is the game that AtGames did not like either. So next, let's try another game. Super Street Fighter 2. Now we all know that Champion Edition will always work, but this is the largest memory game ever on the Genesis. It's a 40 megabit games, maybe. I don't know if it was megabit or megabytes, but it's 40 MB, so it should work, hopefully, because this failed on the Classic Game Console. It works on all the clones that I have though, so I don't get it. If this does not work on the AtGames Flashback, then there's something wrong with that Flashback, because that Flashback uses a different emulator from the Classic Game Console. If it's using Android, there's no reason it could not play this. There is just no reason. So let's try it. Alright, let's see. Does it work? Now let's see if it'll actually dump the game. For some reason the menu had a hard time loading. It doesn't show anything at all on this side. For some reason AtGames is like having problems loading things. I mean, the menu doesn't even work. It's frozen now, so we have to turn it off. That's weird. First time I see the menu froze. Alright, let's try it again. This time maybe it won't froze. I mean, this is made in China after all, so let's try, see if it works. Alright, there it goes. It's dumping now. That's a good sign. Maybe it'll work. Alright, and you can tell it does say Super Street Fighter down there. So there's no reason why it won't work, right? So it's because it does dump the ROM. There's no reason why it won't play. So let's press start on that. Alright, let's see that nice Capcom logo. Where is that fucking logo? I don't see it. I mean, I did not pause anything. If you look at that, the menu button still works. But the game does not. For some reason, it dumped the ROM, but for some reason the emulator does not play the game. Why? I mean, why do you hate Super Street Fighter? Let's try it again. I mean, I know they have that sentence that says some games will not work, but come on, you're using a much better emulator this time. How could it not work? That is sad. So, in conclusion, Super Street Fighter does not work. No matter how many times I try it, it's always gonna get that black screen on these AtGames systems. So, that's too bad. Alright, so we all know that virtual racing right here. This is virtual racing. This game works on the Retron 5 and the Retro Freak. I saw somebody make it work on the Retro Freak. So this game will not work at all on any clone devices, any clone systems. The AtGames Sega Genesis Flashback here is not a clone system. It's a emulation box. Emulation plug and play, that is. So it's using emulators, and with emulators it should be able to dump this and play it. So like the Retron 5, it should be able to do that. So let's see if it could do that, because it does have a chip in there, and that chip could be emulated. So there's no reason why it wouldn't be able to do that. So let's turn it on and let's see if it'll dump it. Because if it can't dump it, then it's not going to be that good. Alright, so there's the menu. I'm waiting for it to dump. It doesn't seem to want to dump anything. I guess it doesn't like virtual racing at all. I mean, you could clearly tell I put the game in there. I mean, this is the game. Let's try it one more time. I'll give it a little bit of blow. And then let's put it in there. Let's turn it back on. Let's see. Will it work this time? It should be able to dump it. I mean, it's using Android, right? I mean, I played an emulator on Android a while ago, and the game and ROM that I put in there was virtual racing, and it works just fine. Why is this not working? That is not a good sign here. So, like Super Street Fighter 2 for some reason, this game does not dump. I mean, Super Street Fighter 2 does dump, but it wouldn't play, so I know that Pure Solar will not work. So Pure Solar will not work on any emulations. It will work on clone though, just not on emulations. So if I try to plug it into the AtGames, it will not work. And here's how it will not work. Just look at it. Now I will not count Pure Solar towards AtGames, because I know that since AtGame is an emulation plug and play, it will never make that game work. So just look at the menu here, and you can tell it's not dumping the game at all. That's because Pure Solar is a very, very large game. It cannot be recognized by any emulators. So yeah, since AtGames Flashback here is an emulator, it's not gonna emulate that. It does not recognize that cartridge. So yeah, as far as I know, Pure Solar is okay because it actually makes sense why it doesn't work. 64 meg is that reason. That still doesn't give excuse for this game though. Alright, so Pure Solar. Next up, let's try some other games that does work. Here is Contra Hard Corps. Now let's see how this game fares. So yeah, the Contra Hard Corps is also one of my favorite games on the systems. It's a very difficult game, but it's also a very satisfying game too, if you know how to play it, that is. And as you can tell, it's dumping the game just fine. Let's play and see how it goes. Alright. So there it is. Licensed by Sega. The Konami logo. Alright, I choose the girl. Let's rock. Okay. Let's press start. There he goes. Oh my gosh. Oh, what happened? Oh man, do you guys see the problem that I'm seeing? Let's play that part again. Let's try that again. Maybe I did not catch that. Alright, so I'm shooting. Oh man. It's almost like I'm stuck in the screen a little bit there. The scrolling is terrible in this game. Oh man, that car is like blocking my way. Let's try that continue again. Let's... Alright, let's try that again. Look at that. I'm walking forward and the scrolling stopped for some reason. Ah. See, I'm trying to go past that car and it's, for a moment there, it seems like the car is not scrolling. Ah. Oh man, I can't play this game anymore. So, this game has a scrolling problems. You can tell that while I was playing, the scrolling seems to stop at somewhere, and then all of a sudden, once I get past that, it jumps to whatever frame is over there, like whatever background is already over there. So it's kind of like jump cut. It doesn't like scroll all the way. So that's the problem with Contra Hardcore here, playing on this AtGames Sega here. And it plays it very choppy too. Not as smooth as if you're playing it on the actual Genesis or clones. Next up, we have Primal Rage. Hopefully this game plays well, right? This is an old game, but it's a simple game. So not a simple game as in how you can play it, but a very simple game in that it's a common game that should have worked. And to me, I expect it to work. I mean, Mortal Kombat works, so Primal Rage should work. Alright, so right now it's dumping Primal Rage. Let's see if it works. Alright, and it does work. And it works quite okay here. Alright, that looks promising. Okay, let's pick a character. Alright, I'll choose Diablo. And there's a character named Blizzard here, and a character named Diablo. I mean, you can tell Blizzard is the company that made the game called Diablo. Anyways, yeah, here's how the gameplay looks like. So here's I'll pause the game right here. And do you see the problem with this game? Other than the ugly green border at the side here, you can tell there's also a nice, very crappy, glitchy line underneath the health bar right here. I don't get why that line. I don't get what that line is doing right there, but it's quite annoying whenever I'm playing this game here. It's not on any of the clones if you're playing on the. So it's kind of weird. And it happens every time. Those green bars or green borders will only appear if you're playing during a match. They don't appear when you're choosing a character though. So I beat round 1 here. Let's see how round 2 goes. That glitchy line will never disappear. Let's see if I could I mean, Primal Rage is not a very steady game either. But it does work okay though. It's just that annoying green border and that line. Oh my gosh. Guess I'll just have to spam and kill this guy. Come on, die, Diablo. Alright, so let's go to the next match and see how it fares. Alright. Yeah, that green bar is still there. Of course, that... Ah, what happened? Oh yeah, I rewinded. Okay, I see. Okay, so the rewind buttons can sometimes you can easily press the rewind buttons and mistake it as the start buttons. That's what happens a while ago. I don't get why they couldn't just put the rewind button where the mode button used to be, considering that they don't have the mode button here. So yeah, that glitch line is still up here. Ah, this time you don't see it quite as much as the other backgrounds, but it's still there though. And I hate these green borders, so yeah, I'm not gonna play this game anymore. So yeah, Primal Rage, other than the ugly green borders and that glitch line underneath the health bar, it's still playable. It's just a little bit choppy. So this one, if you can handle that on the AtGames, then it's still an okay game. the compatibility is not that bad. It's just annoying. That's all. So a game that does not work at all on the classic game console. This time it will work on this flashback. So let's see how it works. So this is greatest heavyweight. On the classic game console, it will not boot up at all. Same thing if you're playing it on the retro gen, it's also not going to work on the retro gen. But for some reason, AtGame did good. They make this one work. So let's see how good it works. Alright, look at that. Greatest heavyweight. Boxing. Let's see. Let's go to exhibition. Player versus CPU. Alright, there's Patterson, Muhammad Ali. I'll just choose Muhammad Ali. And let's start game. Muhammad Ali versus whoever the heck that other guy is. Jack Dempsey. Alright, so let's see how they fight. Okay. Yeah, the intro is cool, but the gameplay is not. There's not any cool music play while you're fighting too, so that's kind of bad. Other than that, the game looks okay. Wish I know how to do any of these moves, but yeah, there's really nothing wrong with this game. I'm sure that if I could practice a little bit, I could be good at this game. Oh man. Okay, that's all. I don't want to dishonor Muhammad Ali, so anyways, yeah, greatest heavyweight. Yeah, it does work. So nice. I'll add a little bit of points for that. So, Animania, a game that was glitchy as hell on the classic game console, now works beautifully on the AtGames. So let's try it and see how beautiful it could be. Alright. So right now, it's dumping, it's playing, it's Animania. We're the Animania. And it's made by Konami. Back when Konami was awesome, that is. Alright, let's see how it goes. Yeah, just look how beautiful it is. There he goes. Let's escape from the tower. Okay, so she could give a kiss. Alright. There he goes. So each of these characters have their own abilities. There he goes. Alright, so we get past that first level. space tracking. There he goes. Oh, I guess we missed that ride. Let's try again. Ah, shit. Let's try it. Alright, so let's see how it goes. Yeah, that's a cool game. So yeah, Animania here works great. It's kind of sad that it doesn't work on the classic game console, but that's okay. It does work on the classic game console, it's just glitchy, that's all. But on this one, it's clean, it's beautiful, and it runs just fine. Of course, the gameplay is still a little bit choppy, but it does not destroy the gameplay, so that's really good. Now let's play an import. This is Dragon Ball Z. I don't know what the Japanese name is called on the subtitle here, but it's Dragon Ball Z Super Battle something. It's the only Dragon Ball Z game on the Mega Drive, so let's see if it'll work on this one. Because I was told all of AtGames System should be region free. So it's NTSC, it should work just fine. Alright, and it does dump the game. And let's play. Let's see how the titles and how the gameplay plays like. Uh-oh. A while ago the shadow there kinda was at the incorrect place. Now, the title screen looks okay though. Alright. Let's watch the computer play for a while and then we can play. So let's see, Goku versus Piccolo. Let's watch them play. Maybe we can see some of the problems here, or some of the gameplay here. The gameplay seems okay, although the background seems kind of iffy a while ago. But maybe it's just me. Let's see how they play on further here. Huh. There's something wrong with that split screen there a while ago. Let's see if I could catch it. I think I know what it is. Let's see, is it here? It usually happens when they're far away. Okay, I think I know what it is. It's the scrolling again, just like on Contra. So I'll show you what the scrolling. I'll show you what I mean. So let's get out and let's re-enter. Yeah, it's that scrolling again. I don't get why it shows up on Dragon Ball Z. It's not supposed to do that. Oh man, and the title screen looks iffy too. So 1 player versus 2 players. I'll choose Goku here. We'll use the second controller this time for this experiment here. So versus Cell. Alright, so I think something wrong with the split screen. So let's put them both here. As Goku, I'll move away. And you can tell there's something wrong with that. Let's look at that. Cell is on this side, and you can tell that on the background that Cell is on, there's supposed to be like this statue, demon statue here. But as soon as Goku is walking away, the split screen, the layer that Goku is walking away is blocking or is coming, scrolling at Cell's other side. So the split screen the split screen is not supposed to do that. I mean, Cell screen is supposed to have this guy all the time on his side, but for some reason on the ad game here, the more Goku walks away, the more his layer is blocking Cell's layer, Cell's side. So it makes it look as if Cell is closer to Goku, when in fact Cell is all the way at the other end. So yeah, that is really weird. Just look at that. We can jump around. Look at that. Look how awful. Look how awful the scrolling is. I mean, look at that. So awful. It's almost like the background is tearing apart or something. Let's look at how Goku is jumping here. See the way Goku jump? You can see this part here. This layer is jumping around whenever the split screen happens. So it's blocking Cell's path, Cell's side. So that is one of those glitch that happens with these AtGames system. And if you play this on the classic game console, it does not happen like this. So I don't get why the Flashback had this problem. It is pretty weird. So yeah, that is for this Dragon Ball Z games. I mean, it's still completely playable, but the scrolling is annoying. So unless that does not bother you, it might be okay. But for me, that is too bothersome for me to play. So I don't recommend playing it on the Flashback. If you still have the classic game console though, it works okay. It's also work on the clone too. So if you have those, I recommend just playing this on those. But on this Flashback, it looked nice. It is just too glitchy. So Dragon Ball Z on the Mega Drive for the AtGames Flashback, I give it a no. So next up, we have Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Yeah, this is a long video, so if you're tired of this already, you can just end the video right now. But yeah, let's try and see if this one works. Now, I do have problems with this one in regards to playing two-player on it. So let's see if that problem is still here. Alright, so let's see if it dumped the game. And now it's frozen again. This is usually the kind of thing I don't like about AtGames system. Alright, so let's turn it off and turn it back on again and see how it fared this time. Maybe it'll surprise us. yeah, it does dump the game this time. So let's play the game. And yeah, this is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. As you can tell, Mortal Kombat 3 on this plug and play is very choppy, so the speed on it is not proper. But this game, on the other hand, works quite okay. I mean, you can tell there's nothing wrong with the cursor. So if I enter the code, yeah, it works just fine. But here's the problem though. I go to options. No matter what I do, let's look at that. It will not let me go there. It will not let me go to the joystick options. It will still let me exit though. So everything seems to work okay, except for the joystick part. Let's see, quick in, okay, Shao Kahn, enable. We can play hidden games. Galaga seems to be okay. Alright, so we can exit that. See, if we go back to option and we choose joysticks, look at that. It will not let us customize the joysticks or the controllers. I even try it on controller 2. Now look at that. I am pressing start right now and it will not let me choose the joystick options. Why? Why it won't let me do it? I mean, it'll let me exit, but it will not let me choose the joystick option. Okay, let's play some games here. And I'll press start right here. I'll let the second guy comes. Okay, there you go. So you can tell, yep, the second guy worked. And I work too. So let's play it together. And I'm fighting New Saibot. So let's kill New Saibot and see how it goes. Come on, focus. Yeah, Sonya wins. Alright. Okay, so now let's press start on the second controller. And then let's press start on the first controller. And let's press start on the second controller again. And look at that. Just look at that. I'm pressing start on both this time. The second guy will not appear. Look at that. I am pressing start on both of them. And no matter how many times I press start, the second guy is not appearing this time. This is controller number 2. You can tell the second guy should have appeared by now, but it won't. And I don't get it. I don't get why that happens. But if I press start during a match, yeah, the second guy will appear. So this time it works. I don't get that. A while ago we were trying to press start and it wouldn't let us press start. Anyways, yeah, that's the problem I have with this game. So if you're playing Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the AtGames Flashback, you cannot customize the controller for some reason, because no matter how many times you press start at the joystick option, it will not let you go to the options. It will highlight it, but it will not let you enter it to customize all the controller options in there. Not only that, after you play a match and the second player loses, if the player one was the one who pressed start at that block menu or something, and you go back to the character selection screen, if the second player is trying to press start again at the character selection screen, you can tell it's not going to let the player 2 guy start at all until after that the one player match starts. So that's the big problem I have with this game on the Flashback. I don't know why it happens like that, but yeah, just a few things to know about this Flashback. So Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, if I had to give it, it's still good if you have the chance, if you don't mind that, but it's an annoying feature, the part that you can't customize, and player 2 sometimes does not work. So yeah, now let's try another game. This time we're gonna try the Power Base Mini along with Lord of the Sword here. Let's see if they can be recognized. So these are clone stuff, so let's see how they work on the AtGames, because I have tried them all day all night playing them on Novembers, and I do not have any good results on them. So let's see. I mean, I'm not gonna count the Power Base Mini towards the AtGames. I knew that it doesn't work, but I did not. I thought that I would give it a try because there's Master System game in here. So I thought that maybe Master System game could also be recognized. It turns out it does not recognize it, so that's okay. Power Base Mini. Yeah, the Power Base Mini is a downer, but I won't count this towards the AtGames because it's emulation, so maybe that's the reason why it doesn't work. However, I will count the lock-on. The lock-on should work. Alright, so this is the last game we're going to test, and this is my all-time favorite game on any system, including the Genesis and Super Nintendo. So this game is the reason why I bought the AtGames Sega Genesis, because for one, the AtGames Sega Genesis is an HD systems, and I like to play my Samurai Showdown in HD. If this can play Samurai Showdown, it'll be great. So this is Samurai Showdown on the Sega Genesis in HD. So let's check it out and see how it plays. Now this is a common game, so it shouldn't have any problems. I mean, on the AtGames Classic Game Console, this works just fine. I mean, the sound is a little bit off, but everything else seems to play okay. So let's see how the Flashback does. Maybe it might be better. Alright, so it has that loading issue again. I mean, this is common on the system now. So let's turn it off and push it back in. Alright, hopefully it works this time. And there it is, it's dumping the ROM. And there it is, Samurai Showdown. Let's see how the game plays. I mean, can't wait to play this. Alright, and there's the Sega logo. And just look at that. That is beautiful right there. Takara. Let's see how this intro rolls. Samurai fears nothing, struggle to triumph over evil, lives for one purpose, blah blah blah. Yep. That's a really nice intro. And there it is, Samurai Showdown. So it does work. It has the nice graphics. Let's see how the gameplay plays. Let's see what the demonstration looks like. Because I want to know how it plays like before I actually play it. Alright, so let's look at that. That is gorgeous right there, man. The sound is accurate. The gameplay seems fine. There's blood. You can see the detail in those animated water. Man, that looks great, man. Let's now. Alright, so let's see how it plays. Let's press start. What the? It would not work. This is controller 1 though. Maybe controller 2 might work. Let's see. I don't get it. Why won't it work? Why? The menu button works. But why? Why the menu button? I don't want the menu to work. I want the start button to work. Why won't the start work? I want to play this beautiful game here. Come on. At this point, I don't need the menu button. I want the game to work. Why won't you work, Samurai Showdown? Come on, you make it work. Look at that. Come on, AtGames, you cannot do this to me. You cannot do this to me. I am pressing start and you're not doing anything. Oh man. Let's turn it back off. Wiggle it a little bit and turn it back on. Maybe there's something glitchy about this. There's something wrong with this AtGames. So let's try to reload it again. Maybe the controllers just jacked us off a little bit there. So maybe it should work this time. I'll give it another chance. I really want to play this game. So it does load, it does dump the game, so that's good. And you can tell the buttons and all that stuff works at the menu. So if they work at the menu, they shouldn't have any problem working with the games. I press start and it starts, so that's good. That's a good sign that it will work, right? Okay, and there's the loading screen, the intro. Let's see, let's let it focus first. Come on, focus. I am been pressing start right now. And that game will not start. Look at that. I am not even... Oh my gosh. I'm going to put wired controllers on this and see if it'll work. If it doesn't work, then I'm mad. Because I really want to play this game here. I'm going to plug it into controller port 1 now. So this is on controller port 1. And it still does not work. You can tell the menu buttons. The menu button does not work. Okay, so maybe this controller is not working. Let's try the other controller. So let's plug in this one. This is the one that should work. And let's plug it into the controller ports this time. So let's press start. See, menu button works. Let's enter it again. You can clearly tell I'm using this controller right now. And Samurai Showdown is showing in there. Come on. Look at that. I am pressing start right now. The menu button works. I am pressing start right now. And the menu button works. The menu. Only the menu. I hate the menu buttons. No wonder Nintendo does not make any menu buttons. Why won't this work? Look at that. AtGames, you made me hate the menu buttons. It sucks. Fortunately, yeah, for some reason, AtGames made me hate things now. I want to play this game. Look at that. It works. The game works. Why won't you let me play it? I press every button there is. Everything does not work except for the menu button. Why the menu button? Why? See? Look at that. The menu button is the only thing that works in here. And it's not the button I want. So I am not in a good mood right now because this right here is the only game that I want. I mean, the only game that I want to play the most on this HD Genesis. And AtGames just fail. I mean, just look at that. There is nothing wrong with the game. It works. You loaded it. You show the graphics. The sound is perfect. I can see how the gameplay plays, and it's quite okay. It's not smooth, but it looks playable. And all I'm asking is, can I play it? And you wouldn't let me play it AtGames. Why, AtGames? Why won't you let me play? This game is the only game that I wanted to play on. And you just don't want to let me play it. So this is the last game that we look at. It doesn't show any good results. I mean, the results are excellent if you were to look at it, but for some reason AtGames does not want you to play it. I try everything with it. I use wireless controller that came with the system. I use wire controllers that I have myself, and it still does not play the game. I mean, the system dumped it, show it, and all I want to do is play it. And I don't get why, because the controller works at the menu. The menu button works. Everything works at the menu. But when the game starts, nothing works. Only the menu button works. And I want more than just the menu button. Why, AtGames, can you make this game work? Why can't you let me play it? The menu button does not let me play it. So, yeah. So, this console, I had to say, would I recommend it? Well, it does have a lot of issues, but it does fix a lot of issues about the classic game console too. So, like I said, if I were to grade it as a plug and play without counting the cartridge slot and the 2 controller ports, it will definitely be at least a B-. But since it does have a cartridge slot and 2 controller ports, and it does not do a good job of handling both, yeah, that definitely dropped the grade down. You can tell that it froze a few times while we're testing this too. and a lot of games does have issue with this console. So Primal Rage had those ugly green bars and that glitchy lines at the top of the health bar there. I mean, they're not game breaking, but they are annoying. Contra had the scrolling problems. Dragon Ball Z had that scrolling problems too. Super Street Fighter 2 does not even work. I don't know why, but I mean, this used Android, so why it wouldn't work is anyone's guess. The lock-on does not work at all. Now, to me, the lock-on does not matter all that much, considering that like a lot of people, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is not really that big of a deal to me. I don't like that game as much as I like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is pretty much still my best games of all time, but yeah, Sonic CD and Sonic 3 and Knuckles does come close. However, I do see that people might have a problem with the lock-on not working because they do want to play that final game, that full game, and the AtGames is not gonna let you do that. Also, the AtGame does not let you play Sonic, does not let you play Knuckles in Sonic 2. It does not play most of those games on the 6-pack if you have the 6-pack. I don't have a Game Genie, so I don't know if it'll work, but I do know that if you have a Game Genie and you put a game on the Game Genie, it will only load the Game Genie, but it will not load the game. So that's one thing. I don't know about the EverDrive though. I don't have the EverDrive and probably will never buy the EverDrive, but I think that it won't work either, considering the fact that the lock-on and the Game Genie won't work. And yeah, my favorite games of all time, Samurai Showdown, does not work. I don't get you, AtGames. It's almost like AtGames punishing me for reviewing their other products. I mean, come on, AtGames. I gave a good score on the portable. And on the classic game console, I gave it a C. So why are you punishing me for not making Samurai Showdown work? You make it work. You actually make the game run. Not only that, it looks good, it sounds good, and it plays good. It just wouldn't let me play it. So if you can make a firmware that will let me play it, that would be really nice. But how are you gonna update this thing, man? I don't see any way you can update it. I mean, somebody told me that there's something inside here that has a micro SD card slot or something, a micro USB port or something in here that you can use to update it. But come on, I'm not gonna open this thing up. The reason I bought this thing so that I don't have to mod it, or so that I don't have to tinker with it. If you can soft mod it, that's okay, but I don't want to hard mod it. I don't want to touch any of this stuff inside. It might be broken and then I'll be wasting 70 bucks on this thing. Yeah, so all I have to say is that the AtGames Sega Genesis Flashback here, it's a cool little device. It solves a few stuff. All of the audios and stuff on the games sounds okay now. The compatibility has issues though, but the emulations on a lot of the built-in games are good. It does have loading issues and freezing issues from time to time, so that takes the point down a bit. The compatibility on the cartridge has issue. It still have bugs and glitches on some of the cartridge games. The controller ports here barely ever work. This first one has more problem than the second one though. Sometimes this one will not work at all, and sometimes this one will work whenever it wants to work for some reason. So overall, will I recommend this systems? I think if you buy this as a plug and play, it'll be okay. I mean, this controller works good, but if you buy this as your as your replacement for your Genesis, or if you buy this as your next Genesis so that you can play all your Genesis games, then it's not a good idea for that, because it will never replace the original Genesis. it doesn't have good compatibilities. So overall, my final grade for this, it's at least a D. Not a D minus, not a D plus, but just a D. I mean, it does do a lot of things right from the classic game console. It gives you that many save states, a rewind features, and a lot more games than you can ever ask for. Plus, it still has those garbage games that they always throw at you, but you can always ignore those. And yeah, those garbage games is the reason why I dropped the grade a little bit, but it's really the problem of the cartridge slot and these two controller ports. So if only AtGames could improve on these, then that would be great. But as far as you can tell, these are terrible. I mean, games do work. There are a lot of cartridge games that will play okay on this. I mean, the gameplay still drops in frames from time to time, but you can still totally play them. They're just not as smooth as if you're playing on the classic game console. And if you ask me, between this one and the classic game console, I'd rather choose the classic game console over this one, because even though the classic game console have those off-key audios, I mean, those off-key audios, they are not terrible. They are just different. people don't like them because they sound different, and they do sound off key. But there are some games that have off key audio that still sounds okay. They are still good. They just sound different. Whereas in this one, they fix everything, so there's no issue with that. However, the issue with this one is that the frame rates on it and the gameplay on it does not process that smooth. Also, too many bugs and glitches, too many freezings, there's controller issues, there's bug issues. A lot of cartridge game has those scrolling problems. You have iffy stuff appear on games that shouldn't even appear, and you can see those stuff on those Dragon Ball Z on this thing. So yeah, that's really all I have to give. And yeah, it really pisses me off on Samurai Shodown that this will not play that game. I mean, it makes it work and everything, but it wouldn't let you play. So that's the reason, that's the thing that hurts me the most, and that's why I dropped the grade to a D. You know, it should have been a C minus or at least a D plus, but with Samurai Shodown not working, I don't see any other reason to buy this or keep this. I don't know if any of you guys had this or not, but if you do have a copy of Samurai Shodown, test it on it and see if it works, because my unit does not work, and I don't think it will work on any other units too. Or maybe if it does work, because I'm not going to waste another $70 buying another one just to see if it will work or not. Because with $70 it should work okay. I mean, the sentence does say that most cartridge game will not work. Well, Samurai Shodown, the only difference is that Samurai Shodown does work. It just wouldn't let me play. So yeah, AtGames, you got a lot of fixing to do, and that's pretty much all I have with the AtGames Sega Genesis. So I'm sorry if this review is long, but I want to give you all of my takes on this system here, and the result is not good. So it's a D at best. If you could afford it at $50, $60, maybe $40, that would be really worth it. At $70, it's not worth it. You have better luck with a clone system at that price, or maybe get one of those HD clone Genesis from AliExpress or something. Those will probably work better. But the AtGames, unless you buy it as a plug and play, you're not gonna be happy with your purchase. So if you buy this as your next Genesis, I don't recommend it. Buy it as a plug and play it as a plug and play, use these controllers, play the plug and play games play the built-in games in here. That'll probably be better than trying those cartridge games and using regular controller, because these are not that good and compatibility is not that good. So I'm Voan. Thank you for watching on this very long review, and I'll see you on the new year.